Good afternoon. I am thrilled to be here today with you. I was born and raised in Mexico City, and since I was a kid, there was something very clear. If I wanted to be a leader, I needed to do certain things, starting with attending the best schools. Please note my Georgetown t-shirt in the picture. But more than that, it was about getting certain positions, working in certain companies. And after doing a series of steps and driving this straight road, I was going to get to this place that was going to say, welcome to being a leader. But the reality is that it was much more than that. Leadership is a muscle that we exercise often, regardless of age, position, or title. When I was 7, after months of practicing with my soccer team, we were ready for the first game of the season. I jumped into the field, gave my registration to the referee. He looks at me, he's like, "You are a girl. You cannot play, this is a boys' game." And I had two options. I could walk away feeling frustrated, feeling angry, and very confused, or I could ask why. I could step up and ask why. So I asked why, until he either gave me a good answer or let me play. He did let me play. And I did score, although I ended up scoring in my own goal. Not everything comes up as we plan it to be. Without knowing, I was being a leader right there. In my early career, I struggled. All my friends knew exactly what they wanted to do. I didn't. I spent probably 5 or 7 years switching jobs from one place to the other, from finance to HR to sales. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And if you ask me, or if you have asked me 2 years ago what I was going to do, I wouldn't know. And if you tell me that I was going to be here speaking to all of you and being the CEO of Global Healthcare with a community of 1,000 amazing leaders, one day 10,000, I would have said, absolutely not, no way. And if you ask me now, what am I going to do 5 or 10 years from now? I don't know exactly what that looks like. I do know, though, that I want to work to empower people. Because now, more than ever, we need strong leaders. Let's take DC, for instance. Here, Black women are dying at the highest rate within the US. And they are 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes. Young people are being diagnosed with HIV twice as much than the natural average. And homelessness is higher than 5 years ago. This is in DC. But guess what? It's also anywhere else in the world. So we need strong leaders, regardless of where we are physically. And that's why I want to encourage you to move to a place where leaders live. And this place where leaders live has 3 neighborhoods that I'm going to walk you through. The first one is discomfort. Our brain is wired to look for certainty, for comfort, what makes us feel safe. That's the status quo. And innovation and creativity and growth don't thrive in there. We thrive, we grow when we are able to step out of that zone, when we're able to take risks, when we do things that are a little bit scary. That's when we grow. But it's funny, because being uncomfortable, being able to get ourselves in an uncomfortable position, also means that it's going to be very likely that we're going to fail. And how do we deal with failure? Normally, if a friend comes and says, like, you know, I'm feeling terrible. I tried this new thing, and I completely failed. I'm not going to try it again. I'm a loser. What would you say? Are you kidding? Thank you for trying. It's because of people like you that we find new ways to do things. You should totally continue to do that. But when that happens to us, we are not as encouraging, and we don't celebrate the failure as we did with our friend. We are very tough with ourselves. We're like, what is going to happen? What are my peers and my family, what are they going to say? And we get into this negative dynamic. We need to give ourselves permission to fail, to try new things. This is Josh, one of our alums. He is an architect. He joined Global Health Corps as a fellow without having any background in public health. He worked for 13 months with one of our partners, Mass Design, building and designing schools and clinics to improve health outcomes. At the beginning, he was very nervous, and he thought that everyone would know more than him, would be more experienced than him, and that probably he didn't have that much to add. Well, after the fellowship, he got an offer to stay, and he continues to be part of the team and continues to build infrastructure that drives better health outcomes. And I love this story because of two things. One, he was able to step into an uncomfortable position, not knowing anything about global health. He took action and did it. But also because it shows us that all of us can apply our experiences and our skills in many different ways, not just in the one that the book says, or not just in the one that people tell us we should be doing it. We can apply our experiences elsewhere. But the important thing, and what leaders do, is that they take action. As Nelson Mandela used to say, it seems impossible until it's done. The second neighborhood of the place where leaders live is diversity. Can you imagine a world where we are all the same, we look the same, we think the same, and we do the same things? I actually think that I've seen it in horror movies, right? We are different. We need to embrace those differences. There are very, very complex problems in front of us. There's not a right answer. There's not a simple answer. We need to bring our differences in ideas, in perspectives, in geographies. And we do that by looking and having conversations with peers. After the event, go out and talk to someone that is different than you, that will challenge your ideas, that might even question your beliefs. I assure you that if you go with an open mind, you're going to leave that conversation stronger and richer and better. And mentors are such an important part of our lives. We need mentors throughout our journey. There will be mentors that are going to be helping us in certain stages, certain phases. We might have different mentors at the same time. They've been there, done that, and have a lot to share. But remember that we all have something to share, right? So when we talk to mentors, we are also sharing, and we are also helping them improve and learn. Kate and Consta, two of our alums, they worked together 13 months during the fellowship on building what ended up being a groundbreaking report on sexual and reproductive health. It's already published, and the report would not have been as impactful and powerful if within these 13 months of working together, they hadn't embraced their differences so well. They came from different backgrounds, different geographies, different perspectives. They learned from each other, they collaborated, they pushed each other, but they understood each other, and they were able to create something that was much better than if any of them have done it by themselves. A third neighborhood in the place where leaders live is curiosity. When we are born and in our early years, we ask questions over and over and over. Why is the grass green? Why do birds fly? Why is your tummy big? Actually, there's a report that says that moms get more questions in 1 hour than lawyers and doctors. Yeah, that's a lot. But what happens? When we grow, we stop asking questions. We ask questions. When we ask questions, when we're growing up, we are learning. The rate of growth when we're asking questions is huge. But then we stop. Especially when we need to learn more, we stop. Leadership is about learning. It's a constant journey of learning and growth. Temi, another one of our alums, she's American-Nigerian. She was exposed to a tough childbirth experience, and she started questioning, what if this had happened in a different place? What if this had happened in Nigeria? What if there was no blood available at the moment it was needed? What if there was blood available when it's needed? What if we could use motorcycles to make sure that the blood can move faster from one place to the other? What if no one did it? Well, what if I do it? She took into the journey of collaborating with people, reach out to peers in the global healthcare community and outside of it, talk to developers, to experts in supply chain, to entrepreneurs. And she started her company, LifeBank. LifeBank now uses state-of-the-art technology and motorcycles to make sure that blood is delivered when it's needed, where it's needed. She's won several awards, but most importantly, she's been saving thousands of lives. LifeBank was born through curiosity, because of curiosity and action and collaboration. Everyone in this room is here because we want to learn and we want to grow. And everyone here is either already doing something important or will be doing something important. Maybe eradicate a disease. Maybe be an entrepreneur and generate thousands of jobs. Maybe change the education system. Whatever your path is, it won't be that straight path. It will have a lot of curves. Embrace those curves, and the highs and the lows and the hills and the valleys. But remember that you always, regardless of where you are physically, if it's DC, Mexico City, New York, Lusaka, it doesn't matter where you are. You can always go to the place where leaders live. You can always seek discomfort. You can always look for diversity. You can always stay curious. And by doing so, you're going to be a stronger leader. And by doing so, you are going to ignite the change in the world. Thank you.